the stars of Ram Motorsports Spectacular want to know, are you ready? You're ready to meet the monster trucks. Phoenix, Arizona, a competitive driver, no doubt, because the name of this truck says it all. Please welcome Joe Briggs and Elbows Up. Guy drives a 3D Dragon. Please welcome Dallas Rogers and Spitfire! Five-time Monster Truck Champion from Kelowna, BC, Marvin Anderson and Identity Theft! Brand new truck, Mr. Gavin Sell from Ocean City, Washington, and trade into Roughneck as a driver. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Jason Court and Roughneck. Champion of the world, it's only fair to say this. To be the man, you must beat that man. This is Bill Payne and let me hear you. 6, 5, 4, 3, start, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to show number 2 of 3 here at Saskatoon Center in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada for Ram Motorsports Spectacular, brought to you by the Outlaws of Motorsports. It is show number 2, and we cannot wait to let these monster trucks take to the track. And our first competition of the night is the Monster Truck Best Trick Competition, where our drivers are going to have 3 opportunities to lay down their best trick on the track. So, ladies and gentlemen, time for you to get loud and excited because our first truck's on the track, and it's Joe Briggs and Elbows Up. Alrighty, Monster Truck fans, coming up next in our Monster Truck Best Trick Competition, he is driving one of the most fan favorite monster trucks from Straight Up Racing. He is a host, he is a mechanic, and this weekend he's back behind the wheel of the legendary 3D Lava Monster, all the way from Groom Lake, Nevada. One of my favorite drivers to talk to, and most definitely one to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get loud for Dallas, Glenn, Rogers, and Spitfire. Coming to the track next He is a monster truck legend, a Canadian monster truck legend for a fact. He is the only 5-time former Canadian monster truck champion, and this weekend he is back in Saskatoon. Ladies and gentlemen, get loud for Marvin Anderson in Identity Theft. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the track next. He is one of the most entertaining drivers to watch because you never know what he's going to do out on the track. He is becoming one of the rising superstars of our sport, and I am so excited to get to introduce him to the Saskatoon crowd in his new ride this year. Never before seen here. First time ever seen in Saskatoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get loud and excited for Gavin Sell and Mixed Up. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the track now is your hometown boy. He is from right here in Saskatchewan. Not from Saskatoon, though. From Weyburn, Saskatchewan. He had an epic weekend in Winnipeg, and he's looking to continue that momentum right here in Saskatoon. He is the original crude behavior from the Crude Boys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get loud for Jared Vogel and Crude. Coming to the track next, ladies and gentlemen, he is the other part of the Crude Boys operation. You just saw his teammate come on out here, Jared Vogel and Crude. Well, now, this guy's from Edson, Alberta, Canada, and he was the one who picked up a freestyle win in Winnipeg and looking to bring home more wins on the weekend right here in Saskatoon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to get loud and excited for Jason Court and Roughneck. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our final competitor in the Monster Truck Best Straight competition, and I don't think there's anybody else that can wrap up the competition like this guy. He is one of the greatest monster truck drivers of all time, a former world champion, ladies and gentlemen. He is the Wild Man from Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to get excited for the legendary Bill Payne and Rockstar. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while we let our monster trucks cool off from that intense and exciting monster truck best trick competition, it is now time to let our mini monsters get out on the track and show off what they can do in their own monster truck best trick competition, where we're going to let Boomer Sackman, driver of the Bunny 2.0 Mini Monster, and Delane Sackman, his mom, in the Thumper Mini Monster, lay down their best tricks and see what they can do in their mini monster truck. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get excited because it's time for the Mini Monsters Skills Competition. ladies and gentlemen, after that adrenaline-charged, pumping monster truck racing, it is now time to let the mini monsters have a shot at the race course. It is now time for mini monster truck racing, where we are going to have Mother Delane Sackman in Thumper take on her son, Dakota Boomer Sackman, in Bunny 2.0. And how this is going to work is they are going to race one race. And then after that race is over, they're going to do a second race. However, they're going to swap lanes, though, and see if that first race, whoever wins, was just a fluke, and they can do it again in another lane. This is where skill and precision and seat time come into play. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get excited, get loud for Mini Monsters Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second part of Ram Motorsports Spectacular, and we're going to kick it off in the most high-flying, action-packed, adrenaline-charged way possible. This is Freestyle Motocross, where we have brought 3 of the top freestyle motocross riders in the world to deliver jaw-dropping stunts that you can only see here at Ram Motorsports Spectacular. These guys are going to fly 30 feet in the air, risk their lives, put their lives on the line just for you. This is something that you cannot miss. You guys got to get excited, get loud. We saw some insane action just a couple of weeks ago from these guys in Winnipeg, and I promise it is something that you just cannot put into words other than just absolutely insane. So now, it is time for you, the fans, to get excited and get loud, because it's time for Freestyle Motocross.
British Columbia, the greatest upright rider in the world today, Darren Wright. Oh, this rider, today he might be seen as a gentleman outlaw of freestyle motocross. Ladies and gentlemen, he's brought to us by KSFMX. By Parts Canada. Please give it up loud for Billy the Kid Cohan. He wanted to ride his dirt bike, and he has ridden that dirt bike. Brought to you by Parts Canada when he's here in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Keith Sayers. Right like that. Oh, that's such a beginning of freestyle. Oh, Cohan just hit the trick that sent him to the Keith Sayers, a world record holder, and the version with the elevator and oh man, I never think he's gonna get a low down. Here we go. The Captain Morgan from Keith Sayers. Darren puts the two of them together, brings it back. Go high, up there into the tsunami cave. Because here we go. They will perform a freestyle train 3 different trick tricks. All working. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Get on your feet. Show your appreciation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the second half of Ram Motorsports Spectacular continues on, you've seen them in the skills competition, you've seen them race, but now it's time for them to do the most exciting thing that they are known for. This is Mini Monster Freestyle, where we're going to let Delane and Dakota just tear up the track in their mini monsters, which we love to see. We've seen all kinds of things come from Dakota, especially. We've seen stoppie attempts, moonwalks, bicycle attempts, you name it. You're going to see it right now. So get loud for Mini Monsters Freestyle.
But she hopes to be able to make the fastest for you. You're growing up on the farm, fixing farm equipment, big farm equipment. From that being up to love of things that were mechanical. And of course, eventually, not only turning the wrenches, but she wanted to press that accelerator. But she was still, thunder truck from racing stock cars, and up and down the road they went for 3 years. She then decided it would be a good idea to get underway out here. A little bit here.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you just saw the Mini Monsters take to the track in freestyle, but now it is time for the pinnacle of every monster truck show. This is Monster Truck Freestyle. They get free range here at the Saskatoon Center. This is where you're going to see them go absolutely crazy. This is the moment you've been waiting for. And heading to the track right now, it's Joe Briggs and Elbows Up. Well, as we continue on now with our Monster Truck Freestyle competition, it is now time for the fan favorite driver in the fan favorite truck. Ladies and gentlemen, he comes from Groom Lake, Nevada. He is one of my favorite drivers to talk to. He's a host. He is a mechanic. And this weekend, he's back where he belongs, back behind the wheel of the 3D Dragon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to make some noise and get loud for Dallas Glenn Rogers and Spitfire. Coming to the track next in Monster Truck Freestyle. You swear you've seen this truck before, but not with this cool of a driver. He's all the way from Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, a monster truck legend and a 5-time former Canadian monster truck champion. Ladies and gentlemen, clear the track, make some noise for Marvin Anderson in Identity Theft. Next up in our Monster Truck Freestyle competition, he is the rising star of the Outlaws of Motorsports. He is the driver that every fan wants to watch whenever they come to a show because you never know what he's gonna do. He has come so far in his second year only driving for Straight Up Racing, and he's back in Saskatoon with a new truck. Ladies and gentlemen, get loud and excited for Gavin Sell and Mixed Up. Moving on in our Monster Truck Freestyle competition, we go for an American driver to your hometown hero. This guy is from right here in Saskatchewan. He is always a driver you have to watch whenever he takes the track. He is the original Crude behavior from the Crude Boys operation. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get loud and excited for Jared Vogel and Crude. Ladies and gentlemen, we only have 2 trucks remaining in our Monster Truck Freestyle competition. And our next driver up is the other part of the Crude Boys operation. He comes from Edson, Alberta, Canada, though. And we're excited because he took home that Freestyle win 2 weeks ago in Winnipeg. And we're looking forward to seeing what he can do here in Saskatoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get loud and excited for Jason Court and Roughneck. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the final truck in Monster Truck Freestyle, and there's no other way to end it than with this legend. A monster truck legend. One of the greatest monster truck drivers of all time. He is always crazy to watch. He is the wild man from Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, get loud and excited for your final truck of the night. Bill Payne and Rockstar.